Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate you taking the time to check it out. Today's video I'm going to be going over Magwells and what I've learned about them so far. Haven't really been into them a lot, just over maybe the past 8 months or so. I started adding some to my Glocks here. And while this video does only cover Magwells that are on Glocks, obviously Magwells are made for multiple other brands and platforms out there. So to start off, you will go through and you see all of these guns are unloaded, no magazines, nothing's chambered. And all of the magazines that I'm going to show and use in this video are also unloaded. So Magwells, for any of you who don't know, they've been around for a long time. They've been used in competition shooting for a very long time. And the primary function of a Magwell is for you, the shooter, to be able to more quickly load a magazine in. As you see here, it looks like a funnel. And the funnel will allow you to get a wider entry point for the magazine. And also, if you don't come in perfectly aligned, it'll allow you to, the magwell will self-correct and push the magazine in. So that is the primary function of a magwell. One of the side benefits of magwells, if you are running a gun that is not full size, and the guns that I have here, for example, today are my G17 Gen 5, my G34 Gen 4, my G19 Gen 5, and then my G48. So with full-size guns, unless you have absolutely mammoth hands, and mine are, they're about middle of the road, you typically don't have a problem getting a grip on the gun. There's plenty of real estate for you to be able to get your hand on it. But when it comes to compact size frames, you'll notice that even for somebody like me, typically my hand comes all the way down to the end of the magwell. If you have very large hands, it's a bigger problem, and your pinky may only feel like it's halfway on. Same thing with the G48, which is basically the same size as the G19, just thinner. So an extra benefit of the magwell is that on these compact frames, it gives you a better grip and a better feel on the gun, because as you get your grip, your pinky has something to base itself off of. There's a foundation there for it. And it really just gives you a more positive feel to the gun. And then lastly, one of the fringe benefits of the Magwells is that they just look cool. And looking cool is half the battle when it comes to guns, right? So there's many different styles of Magwells out there. Typically the ones that are on competition guns are quite a bit larger. Really big funnels on them. All of the ones that I have here, various different functions to them. Starting with my G17, this is the Zev Pro Plus, and this one here is probably the biggest one that I have out of all of my Magwells. And it looks the biggest. This is about the biggest one that I have that you could consider closer to a competition size one. Then you go down to something a little bit smaller here with my G34. This is the Agency Arms EDC Magwell, specifically designed to be a little bit smaller. Obviously EDC meaning everyday carry. It has a smaller funnel on it. You see here compared to the opening on the Zev, it's quite a bit smaller. The flanges are smaller, but still gives you a little bit more mouth to shove a magazine in than you would with just the OEM frame itself. Next up here we have my G19, which is the half blue with no cutout on there. Bigger than the Agency EDC, but not quite as big as the the Zev Pro Plus. Here we've got the Empire Katana V2. This one here, I mean, it's hard to compare with the other ones because It is a slimmer frame, so it is going to look like it's a smaller opening, but as you see, a pretty generous funnel there. Definitely quite a bit more than what you have with just the not having a magwell on there, especially in the front and the back. When you go to load a magazine in, typically you would be feeding it from the back where you would want the most help, if you want to call it, putting the magazine in. I can tell you that for myself, the Magwells that I own, why did I choose the ones that I did? Well, most of it was just kind of trial and error. So this one here, actually I take that back. One that I don't have in the picture. This is my G34 is the first gun that I ever got a Magwell for. And what it was the Magpul SL, I believe it is. It's made of polymer. It is even smaller than this one here. Just kind of goes on. It was my first foray into them. It's a very inexpensive part. I want to say that it was only like 18 bucks. And again, it's made of polymer. Kind of the advantage of having a polymer magwell obviously is the price. There is ones out there that are made of polymer. There's some out there that are 3D printed. All of them typically run anywhere from, I don't know, $17 up to close to $30. They will do the job. The ones that are made out of metal, which like all of the ones that I have here, they can be a bit pricey. They can be very pricey. I mean, typically for any of the higher name brand ones, and I can at least speak for the ones that I own here, they ranged anywhere from $80 up to $110 brand new, typically what you find them on. The two that I have here between the Agency and the Zev, I did buy secondhand, and I got really good deals on them. So that was part of the choice that I went with those. I did really like this one visually. When I came across one on AR15.com's Equipment Exchange secondhand, I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was much lower than what brand new retail market price is. I really liked it. And that's the reason I went with that one. Reason I changed out this one from the previous Magpul polymer one was when it comes down to magwell design or materials, what it's made out of, like I just mentioned, polymer, aluminum. All magwells attach the same way. They go around the back. You have a screw that goes in the bottom here. Sometimes you have a screw that goes in here. This example here, it's got a screw going in back because it is a two-piece magwell. Some are one-piece, some are two-piece. You might even have some that are three-piece. I'm not 100% sure on that. But basically, you have a plug that slides up into the back here. Obviously, it secures around the opening of your OEM magazine well, and then it secures in. So if you have a one-piece unit, like we have here on the Zev Pro Plus, it simply plugs in. You have to kind of push it over the lip of the OEM magwell, and then it secures in the back with a screw here. The Katana was the same way. I'm sorry, Katana here was the same way, and so was the Overwatch Precision Have Blue. But either way, that is the only attaching point. And what you'll notice is, you can see a little bit better in my G17, is that there's a little bit of wiggle room here. A little bit. I don't know if you can see that on the camera as well. When you have the polymer magwells, it's a lot more pronounced. Obviously, with the difference in materials, polymer or 3D printed ones are going to give a lot more than metal ones. So didn't really like that. It wasn't an issue as far as my finger or my grip pushing down on it. I just didn't really feel good about the previous Magpul polymer one. If I were to hit it on something or snag it on something, it could bend out pretty well. It may even possibly snap. And then when I saw this one pop up on the Equipment Exchange for a really good price, I went ahead and just jumped on it. So whether you choose to get one that's made out of polymer or you want to pay more money and buy one that's made out of aluminum, obviously that's definitely your call, whatever suits you. I myself, I prefer the aluminum ones. Going back to the primary function of a magwell, you should choose one based on how well that it funnels magazines into it. Now, um, I got to be honest with you. You know, I'm not a competition shooter. I'm not out there shooting thousands of rounds all the time, all day, every day. I can't really tell you function wise which one works better than others. I could assume that the agency here with a larger funnel to it does a better job at funneling magazines into it. So primarily for me, to be honest with you, it's whatever one really looks the coolest, which doesn't bend under, you know, putting weight on it, and which one fits the gun the most. So for me, just again, regular guy, I can't really comment on which one works better than other. So really, I'm going for how it looks and then how it feels in my hand. Um, Speaking of which, I will say I do like all of these Magwells, with the exception of this Overwatch Precision Half Blue, and I'll explain why. So every Magwell that you get, or at least the ones that I have come across, have a little bit of space in between the front of your grip here and the magwell. Some have less. You see here with the agency, it is very, very small, very well designed. With the Zev, you see a little bit of a bigger gap. With the Empire Katana, little gap. But with the Overwatch Half Blue, it's pretty big. I don't know if you can see that right there. If I can get the camera to focus. You see that pretty pronounced lip that you see coming around the radius of the front strap. And then even on the very front of it as well, it is definitely not the best fit to the G19 Gen 5 at least. I know they make them for other generations as well. I don't know if it's a problem, but I can tell you that this absolutely does not feel good in hand. I can feel the edges under the pad of my finger, and I can feel it around my finger here. As you can see, maybe you can't see it on camera. When I get a good grip, or after I grip it very well and release, you can see lines, indentations in my skin from gripping this. So I already have a replacement coming on the way. I did pick up the Rival Arms Magwell. Do currently have this one up on the market on EE, since I am not a big fan of it. I love the way that it looks. Feel that it does have a very good funnel, but it does not feel good in my hands. So obviously any magwell that you may buy out there, depending on your gun, depending on the size of your hand and your grip, the key thing is that if it doesn't feel good in hand, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna want to use it. Going back to another compact frame here with the Empire Katana, love this. This is great. I know, you know, I run Shield Arms mags in this gun, and I know Shield makes her own magwell, but I've actually seen on social media at least, quite a bit of mixed feedback on people having issues with theirs, where the magazine wouldn't seat correctly, or it was too tight, or whatever it may be. And it really kind of shied me away from it. I find it ironic that people have issues with using Shield mags with a Shield magwell, but it was enough to steer me away from it. There is other companies out there that make them for the G48. I know Tyrant Designs is a big one. But again, one of the other features that I look for is how it looks. And I'm not a big fan of the Tyrant design. I think it just looks a little too out there for me. So I went with the Empire Katana. I had heard good things on it. I liked the way that it looked. Took a chance on it, and I purchased one brand new straight from them, and works great. Fits the gun very well. Feels very good in the hand. Really gives you that more positive feel when you are gripping the gun. Moving on to the full-size frames, how it feels in hand, it's not really a concern, because at least with my hands, I don't even my pinky doesn't even reach the magwell, so that part of me isn't a concern. Even with the even with the Zev Pro Plus having a little bit more pronounced lip to it, it's doesn't interfere with my grip like it does the Overwatch Precision one. So I do definitely like this one. One of the other big features that you're going to want to consider when choosing a magwell is it going to work with OEM magazines still? And also, is it going to work with any potential mag extensions that you have? All of these will work with OEM magazines. As you see here with the G34 here and having the agency on it, slips right in. OEM magazines, no problem. I do have one here that has the Tran Tactical magazine extension on it. Lots of clearance, no issue getting that one in. And on the G17 with the Zev Pro Plus, same thing. No issues with magazine extensions or slipping in a OEM magazine. Though you will notice, I'm sure, let me maybe adjust my light here a little bit, with the Agency Arms one, sorry, Zev Pro Plus, being that it's bigger, the magazine sits a lot more flush than it does with the Agency EDC. You still get a bit of the base pad that sticks out of it, whereas with the Zev Pro Plus, it's flush. So where that may potentially cause you a problem when using OEMs is that if you don't, I don't know, maybe if you hit this edge first, you're not going to get a positive seat on the magazine. But really, I mean, if you give it a good, it doesn't even require a good hit. It's going to be seated in there properly. With the G48, same thing. OEM magazine sticks out plenty, no issue there. And even with the Shield Arms magazines, works fine. Also, I do have also a Shield Arms S15 magazine with a +5 extension, and it's no issue getting that to seat either. Have blue. Let's see. Sits a little flusher or more recessed, but still sticks out a bit at the bottom to get good positive magazine seating. But going back to magazine extension. So again, this is the Tran Tactical outside of the Shield Arms +5 extension that I have that works plenty good with the Katana. The only other G17 or G19 extended base pad that I have are the Hives. The Hives are quite a bit bulkier than what the Tran Tacticals are, along with some of the other popular ones right now, like the SLRs. A lot of them are kind of like this style here, this size here. The Hives are quite a bit bigger, and they will not seat with the Zev Pro Plus. Won't even get close. And then it also will not seat with the Overwatch Precision Have Blue. Can say that they do seat with the Agency Everyday Carry, but that's the only one I've been able to find. So when choosing a magwell, first and foremost, make sure that it can still be used with OEMs. I don't have a full list of which magwells will not work with OEM magazines. I know Dawson Precision makes one. I believe it's their Ice magwell that it will not work with OEMs. You have to use their base pads. I may be mistaken with that. It may not be the Ice, but I know it's one of the Dawson Precisions. So you want to make sure of that for sure. And then secondly, you want to make sure that it's going to work with any kind of extended base pads that you may have on it. Again, I do feel that the majority of them will work with this style, but not so much with the Hives. The Hives are very much a lot bulkier and more difficult to get compatible with different magwells that are out there. I do want to talk about some opinion that I've seen out there in some of the forums about magwells and them just being mall ninja accessories, and you don't even really need them, and what do you think of your John Wick, or whatever it may possibly be. So I've heard that, and on the flip side of that, I've also heard reasons to have Magwells. So, you know, God forbid that anybody ever ends up in a situation where they need to use their firearm to defend themselves, or even if you're just in competition, or even if it's whether it's a competition, or maybe you're just trying to improve your own personal split times. Anything that can give you an advantage for speed and time is a plus. I could see not using one of the giant competition magwells on your carry gun, but if that's what you like and it doesn't bother you, hey, have at it. But I do feel that it's definitely it's an added, it's something that, you know, obviously we don't need any of the stuff that's on the gun, any aftermarket accessories, but anything that will help you be faster, smoother, and give you the advantage, that's a good thing. So, you know, like I mentioned with price, most of these Magwells, let's say on average, are $90 to $100. That may not be worth it to some people. For me, you know, it's something I don't mind spending the money on. So they're worth it to me. I'm constantly kind of any of the guns that I have remaining that don't have Magwells on them. I'm always looking to try different ones out. You know, this latest one that I ordered, the rival arms for my G19 that's going to replace the Overwatch Precision. I chose that one because the only other one that I was really considering was the SLR Rifle Works, which SLR makes really nice stuff. But just from the pictures that I've seen online, it looked very similar to the Zev. And I wanted to have a little bit of a different look. You know, like I mentioned, to me, the main function of having a magwell isn't my biggest concern. I think every single one of them will give you a little bit of an advantage compared to having just the OEM magwell. So for me, you know, how they look and just having a little bit of diversity and switching up my gear, I wanted to give something else a shot. I had also heard really good reviews on it. So I will follow up this video. At the end of it, it'll be a little bit of out of time because while I ordered the Rival Arms Magwell from Midway, just got the shipping notification for it today. So you know it'll be a few days before it gets here, and I'll follow that up and add it on to the end of the video that I'm filming right now. So Magwells, are they worth it? Well, that they do definitely serve a purpose. Is it worth the money to you? That, you know, that's a personal decision that you have to make. Lastly, to wrap this video up, I'll just touch base on each brand Magwell that I have here. If you want to call it a quick product review or overview. G17 Zev Pro Plus. I really like this Magwell. Obviously, it's a bigger one compared to the other ones that I have on the table. Being on a large frame, I don't really feel it so well, but I can just imagine, move my hand down a little bit if this was on my G19, that it would feel very good in the hand. Machining is very good. Anodizing is very good. It is a one-piece design, so it just slides in, takes up the space here where a lot of people put plugs, slips over the front of the magwell, and then is secured by the screw in the back. One thing that I do want to mention is that when you are installing your magwell, this screw does not have to be tight at all. Typically, I will just use one of my Apex bits and tighten it by hand with a bit of Loctite, blue Loctite 242. I want to say that all the instructions tell you, you know, stress, do not over tighten. You definitely don't want to do that. And I will say that with this magwell, also, you know, this G17 is an early Gen 5, which does have that half moon cutout in the front of it. Can't really, there you can see it on camera right there. That was, in my opinion, one of the dumbest things that Glocks ever did. I don't know why they would even do that. Obviously, they realized that too since they did away with that cutout in the later Gen 5s. But big benefit also of this magwell here, the Zev Pro Plus, is that it covers up that half moon cutout. Moving on to my G34 that has the agency EDC, the smallest magwell that I own. You know, it has the smallest amount of funnel to it. Obviously, it doesn't add a lot of width or length to the magazine itself. or the handle itself. Feels good under the hand. Hardly any raised edge whatsoever. You don't feel it at all. Very nice, minimal magwell. This unit here is a two-piece design. So the perimeter of the magwell is one piece, and then you have a plug over here. So first thing you do when you install it is you insert the plug. You'll get it lined up, maybe get the screw started in the back, slide on the bottom of the magwell, add the second screw there. I don't really see a difference in the one piece and the two pieces other than being an extra step in installation. But as far as stability on the firearm, it's rock solid. Empire Katana, great magwell. I love the lines of it. Very nice machining work, good anodizing, pretty generous magwell with the exception on the sides. It's not quite as big. This is my primary carry gun. It doesn't add any type of printing issues or whatever it may be. Feels really good in hand. It gives you that little ledge there of stability for your pinky. And then lastly, the Overwatch Precision Half Blue. Looks great. I really like the way that this thing looks. The magwell opening is very nice and generous. Feels like absolute garbage in my hand, and I hate it. So that's just my opinion on the Gen 5 model. They may be different for the other generations. This one here was also a one-piece unit. I forgot to touch base with the Empire Katana. Empire Katana is a two-piece unit. So it's got a piece that slides in, but there's only one attachment screw. Once you slide the magwell over it, you attach that screw right there to pull it down and holds it secure. One last thing that I want to bring up when it comes to magwells that I have noticed, at least the ones that I have, is that they seem to add a little bit of tension on magazines themselves. Now, this magazine here, with the extension on it, actually let me backtrack. It tends to add tension on magazines that have base pads on them, or even the extended magazines. Now, I do have 24 round OEM and 33 round OEM Glock magazines. And I do notice, and just I'm not including them in the video because they're loaded and I don't want to show unsafe gun handling practices, but I do notice that when you slide them in, once you get to about here, they get really, really stiff. And then you have to push them in a little bit. And then when you drop the magazine, they will, they don't drop free. Now, as you see here, with unloaded magazines, it's not a problem. So it might be the spring tension and all the rounds inside of them that are causing the walls to bulge a little bit and keep the magazines from being free. But that is just one thing that I've noticed about them in several of my guns. I did notice it with my G19. I have noticed the G34 and the G17. The Empire Katana doesn't really give that problem. As you can see, the shield arms drops free. The OEM magazine somewhat drops free. So that's about that. Definitely appreciate everybody taking the time to watch the video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, maybe even share it. As I always say in these videos, I make these coming from a pretty humble viewpoint. You know, I'm not a competition shooter. I'm not a pro shooter. I'm not a door kicker. I probably spend more time playing with these guns than I do getting to shoot them. But, you know, I make these videos to share my experiences and possibly help anybody out who's looking for similar products or similar experiences. So, again, thank you everybody for taking the time, and see you next video.